how other people live, their lifestyle, their cultures, how they see things, how they embrace the evolving changes internationally, and even so to how they keep certain cultures or certain practices within their own society. So I'm really, really happy that this topic is exposing that as well, because I know many of my sisters will not be able to understand it based on how they were also cultured. But even before all of, even before we were exposed to the different religions coming to the Caribbean, the different indoctrinations, Christianity and otherwise, we had a culture, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, we
I
had a
thought we
culture.
brought I thought we brought our culture with us and
Well, well,
mixed.
well, there was an intermixing with the Caribs, the
Yeah,
Amerindians.
the
Right.
intermixing with
The
the
intermixing, because when our African ancestors, when they came to the Caribbean, there was this mixing with the already existing tribal people who were there. Like, for example,
correct.
my grandmother was of the Carib descent. And of course, there were persons who were from the Arawak descent. And we still have villages and places within St. Vincent that still resembles that till this day. The
Oh,
government
you're
of
from
the day,
St.
yes.
Vincent with the
I'm from St. Vincent.
Garafunas.
The Garafunas, correct. So that even
Okay.
nice. So that even the government of the day, they still do not interfere with how they live. And
Understood, like the
no,
Maroons.
yes, they don't interfere with it. And when we look at the way they structure their society and the way they live, there isn't any arguments, no bickering, there is no back and forth. The women understand what they have to do. You were mentioning concerning it takes a certain type of man to build as it relates to what he really wants. And it takes a certain type of woman to help him actualize that. If we look
Right.
at it from the biblical context, if you are telling me that I am your helpmate,
Right.
that's what you're telling me, that I am your helpmate. Depending on the type of man, it cannot take a single woman for him to accomplish that, depending on what he wants. And we understand that. So there isn't jealousy and selfishness involved in that. What she will do is look at it from the aspect of there is protection financially, economically, and so on. So
And
that's the
spiritually
position. And
and
spiritually, correct.
spiritually because the Bible strictly tells you that the man is the head of your house and God is the head
Correct.
of and
That's
all of
right.
that. So a man being a part of your or in your household is spiritually warranted. And people skip over that part.
They do. I'm not sure why they skip it. I'm not sure why they skip it, because depending on the woman a man takes to marry, he may or may not fulfill his what he's intended to do, or what he really desires to do. What some men don't understand is that a woman can either make you or break you,
Right.
depending on
Her
who you
mindset.
marry. Yes, it depends on her mindset, right? Because she plays a significant role in helping him accomplish all of that, to which, as a family, they all enjoy. Yes?
Yeah, that's why Pink I say me no want no more man cuz I'm not Bob the Builder. I'm not building no more man.
Right. Okay. Before we go there, I heard you mention about going to the river and, all of that. They do that in Jamaica as well. And
Yeah.
of course, we do that in St. Vincent as well. Even while you are at the river washing clothes, a few of his concubines will be there ensuring your protection, not so?
I wouldn't say protection, but everybody go to river same time. And if you have a
Yeah,
load of clothes and
but
it's a
then
lot
sure,
and they finish theirs, they'll help you wash and stuff like that because it's communal.
it's
And
communal. Yes.
nobody talks about the little things.
No, nobody gets into that. Nobody looks at it from that angle. You know, it's
Well, not
always
that day anyways. No.
hence the reason why I can conclude that there is the divorce rate is so high because you are of the view that you can change him. If you believe you can change the nature of the man that you're getting married to, you will be sadly mistaken. You can't change him. It's more so acceptance. So this is why I am of the view that polygamy itself should be looked at not from a sexualized point of view, but from more so a view of building community and society and families based on what the man wishes to serve. But I have a question to ask you, though. I want to take it back to the Bible. What say you concerning how the Muslims embrace it versus Christianity? Because quite a number of Christians can tell you, my time is up.
He didn't put a timer.
A lot of Christians will tell you that within the Christian faith, if it's just 5, well, right, we get 10 minutes. Within the Christian faith, they will bring scriptures to dispute it. What say you relative to the Abrahamic law versus the new covenant that Christ came under as a reason for Christians to now say that it's not allowed?
I look at things like this. Like, okay, the law came in and then some of it was interpreted and treated roughly, and then Christ had to come and make some amendment to these laws, etc., etc. I don't think that much has changed according. It's just like I had said before, it's the fact that the state has stepped in and some of these new what should I say, unwritten laws, common laws have been applied to people's lives and marriages that has made a big difference. People can't just do what they want, or a sister or a brother could walk behind a tree and take a picture of you and says, I saw you having dinner with so and so, and now the marriage, he has legal rights to divorce you. Those things weren't implemented before. So if that's the change, that's the change. I don't think that the idea of Jesus saying that one person, a woman and a man come together has become one. That's what the Bible says. So now we go by those laws. Yeah. And that's what you're asking me, how I feel about it. People still are get burned. People are still gonna do what they want to do. I think it's unusual, and when you meet a man and he has a nature for just one woman, it's what would I say to make it even a better wording is, it's unnatural for a man to be with one woman. That's what I always, yes, but I always feel that there are men who have lots of self-control and who practice to master themselves
Yeah,
and
they're
live
disciplined. Yeah.
yeah, their discipline, and it takes great energy and mastering of themselves in order to be that kind of man. And that's why you have to give them the respect that they deserve for self-mastery. And that's how I look at it. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not. That's why you find so many problems with it all the time. It's like a fire truck riding down the road and a dog don't bark. It's just weird. It So you just have to give respect where respect is due in those parts, and just be realistic about life. Things can happen. Things can happen, and it depends on the relationship that you and an individual have that decides how you move forward with your life after the fact. Because sometimes you and a person can have a relationship and it breaks up, and it's the romance begins when you come back together and build something after, and you guys could look back on that and laugh, and it gives you strength and stuff like that. So I don't know, y'all. I'm not in a relationship, so I'm not one to talk. I'm a runner. I'm a track star.
You, you know what? One of the things that I find very odd is that even within the church itself, it's highly practiced. It's practiced, but behind closed doors.
I don't know behind closed doors, because everybody in my church is married from their 16. They're trying to push you to marry somebody. Everybody is married.
When I say
Or they'll
practice,
find you a husband and find you a wife. These kind of things.
yeah, well,
I'm so glad I'm old now.
I experienced trying to be forced into it as well. So this is the reason why I left the church as soon as I became of age, because I was literally trying, I was being forced at the age of 18 to get into something that I was not prepared for at that time. So I understand it. But when I say behind closed doors, there are lots of men within the same church that do practice having their concubines outside. And we know of that. So then why quietly practice it and not endorse or engage the biblical aspect of it, which facilitates it? That's my question.
I don't know. I really don't know, and I can't pretend to.
Or are you?
When I was in a deep situation like that, I was in the world living my good old life. There was nobody to interfere. So I don't know why they don't do it, other than what I have explained before, is does that it's certifications and money, and you got to pay to get married, and you got to pay to divorce, and you got to pay to all of that stuff, and them being in the middle of it, and you can make money.
So
you can make money off of marriages and stuff.
You're seeing it as a more benefit to the state than you, the individual?
Exactly. It's more benefit to the state than the individuals. It's not become, there's something between them. There's something now between them other than when it was just them and God dealing with it. It was a covenant with you and God. Now you're making a covenant with you and a state, and you're signing papers, and it's not real no more. The spirituality is broken because there's something in between the man and the woman now. Now it's the state and the church and all that kind of stuff, and nobody don't understand that spiritual aspect. Something has now come between man, woman, and God. How is it going to stand?
But the state only steps in for the fact that when it comes to your assets, it is equally portioned, or if should something happens,
that's what they say.
No, but I mean, let's give credit where it's due. That's what the state. That's why the state steps in. How does the state benefit? Can you identify?
Benefits because you have to pay, and you signed all these agreements. And if you hold on, if you look at some of the rules applying, I don't want to say too much because I don't have the exact information, but a lot of things return back to the state. A lot of things in marriage return back to the state, not necessarily just to the wife or even the husband. Sometimes some things return to the state. Y'all ain't gonna make these people come for me.
That's not what I'm trying to accomplish, though. But I just wanted to bring a little Caribbean flavor allow persons to expand their mind a bit as to how other people live in other cultures. Because since I came on this platform, my mind has been expanded as it relates to not just how people see things religiously, but how they see things culturally, even the way they say things. There are certain words that we will say. For example, the host recently he learned to say thank you. Uh, in the Caribbean
Ref,
context by
ref,
saying respect.